The very first YouTube channel I ever started watching a number of years ago was 1963 Impala two-door, which has since become Waylon Wire's Old Iron. And I love this channel. If you are into hot rodding and rat rodding, you gotta go watch Waylon Wire's Old Iron. I'll leave a link in the description down below to his channel. I mean, that rockabilly rat he built out of a 32 Chevy pickup is awesome. And then he put together what he calls the Dojalac, which is half, late 40s Dodge in the front and with I think a 57 Cadillac back end on the back, mounted on a Chevy truck chassis. And now he's building this thing he calls the Dirty Dozen, which is based on a 38 GMC. I think the chassis is a 64 or 65 GMC one-ton truck. And he's got a V12 GMC irrigation pump engine in there with a 10-speed Road Ranger tranny behind it. I mean, you just gotta go watch his channel to see what it's about. Well, anyway, he had a bunch of stickers made, and it was kind of first come, first serve. He made an announcement on his channel. If you want one, send him a self-addressed stamp envelope, and he would send you a sticker. Well, of course, I jumped right on that, and this is what I got. And I love it. And it's going to go right over here. Yep, what could possibly go wrong? Huh. I tore the sticker. Oh yeah, gotta love it. If you'll recall a few videos back, I had mentioned that I had been offered a too good to be true deal. And I had a short window of time to make a decision about that, whether I was going to go for it or not. And if I decided to go for it, it meant I was going to have to part with something in order to obtain the funds to go take advantage of this deal. Well, if you'll remember where the green bean is sitting now, I had a Gibson tractor sitting there with a yellow gas tank on it. That Gibson tractor is no longer there. The road trip treasure, of course, is still here, but the other one is gone. And this is what replaced it. What is this, you may ask? Well, it's been affectionately called the Pump Jack trailer. This was built by my good friend Jim out of Scavenged Parts, which is true to form to this channel. But unfortunately, Jim has had some significant life changes, and he's downsizing. And he offered this to me before he put it, before he put it on the open market. And well, of course, me being me, much to the chagrin of my poor wife, I had to jump on this. And so I sold that Gibson and used the funds from that to purchase this. So let's do a quick walk around here. First of all, I don't know if you can see it or not. Yeah, International. The chassis of this thing is a 1926 or 1927 International 1.5 or 2 ton truck. And this was a derelict sitting out in the weeds of a pasture of a mutual friend, and he gave it to Jim, and Jim drug it home and did some work on it. And he pulled the ring gear and pinion out of the differential and blanked off the other side, took the axles out and cut them down. And so this would actually work as a trailer. And of course, it's a full floating rear end, so when you're going down the road, it's riding on the bearings and not spinning an entire differential. And so we got that trailer fixed up. The pump jack came from our mutual friend Larry, who actually still owns the pump jack. It's on long-term loan, first to Jim and now to me. The pump jack, there's a big tub that sits under there, and there's a check valve and stuff that connects to the pipe there that goes in, and you fill that with water and throw in your rubber duckies, and then this pump jack pumps water out of the tub and then dumps it back in via this here. There's pipe fittings in the shop. It is powered by a 1.5 to 3 International Harvester LB engine. And there's 2 of those engines. Here's the other one. This engine powers the number 2 rapid cut reciprocating hacksaw. It also powers this compressor pump, which is currently stuck. I got it soaking in Marvel Mystery Oil right now. And what makes this pump unique is it unloads based on RPM, which you can see the mechanism attached to the cast iron flywheel here. So Jim's scrounging up the tank he built for this thing. He can't remember where he put it. So while he's looking for that, I'm going to unstick this tank, and with the eventual plan of installing a couple of air whistles on this beast that will be, air will be provided by this pump once I get it working. Also, that little LB, in addition to the saw and the pump, it also powers this little drill press here, which is quite functional. There's also a blacksmith post drill here that still works off the hand crank. I have another one of these. I've got a larger one, Buffalo Forge Company drill press. That's hiding over in my little shed. It needs to be restored, but back in the day when I was actively blacksmithing with our youngest son, we used that. So this is a little Mastercraft drill press. And Jim is a retired oil well platform supervisor off the North Slope up there in Alaska. So he's a petroleum guy. Well, he got an RV liquid petroleum LP propane tank, mounted it to the side of this thing, plumbed it up. He's got demand regulators that feed each one of these engines. They're not running on gasoline, they're running on propane. And that powers the entire operation. So, yeah, here you go. The scrap whisperer strikes again. And this is true to form with me. I'm a contraption kind of guy, and man, this is a Rube Goldberg setup if you've ever seen one. And I'm in the middle of maintenance right now. But the next part of this video will be me firing this thing up. But I got to finish a few things. There's a couple broken grease zerks that I replaced. So I'm greasing it up. See the oil can there? I got to oil everything up. Of course, this compressor head won't be running yet because it's still stuck. And look at the look at the old cast iron spoked hubs on this thing. And those are split rims. Not my favorite kind of rim, but those are 20-inch Goodyears on this thing, 825 by 20s. And I towed this thing home yesterday, and it tows like a dream. No problem at all. So yeah, this will be going to a lot of shows. So at any rate, let me finish up my maintenance I got to do to this. And then I'm going to crank it up. Doggone it. I have to take a pause from having some real fun, because I have to do some real work. I hate that when it interferes with having fun. This is the blue bucket. This is Nancy's 2006 Subaru Forester. It's got 208,000 miles on it, and I gotta do an oil change. You know, I got so much crap in here I can't even see the car. I need to get a lift in here, you know what? I'm getting too old to crawl into this stuff. That's a big one. Here's my hand for perspective. Brightly colored and a voracious eater of your favorite plants. Sorry for the wind noise. 21 miles an hour today. I gotta check the oil in these engines. That one's full, looking good. Don't know when's the last time it was changed, but it's got oil in it. I will check the other one off camera, because it's the exact same procedure as this one. I love it. There's IHC old-fashioned logos all over these little engine parts, and just really cool looking. This is the cover on the magneto to access the points. You can see in there very well. That looks to be about a 20 thousandths gap. Those points are dirty, and I'm going to put a little lube on the cam lobe, some super lube, a synthetic thin grease, and then put the cover back on, and do the same to the other engine. But there, you get a little look inside the magneto. This cover goes over the coil, and I pulled that off and cleaned the contacts. There's a copper tab that attaches to the plug wire here that makes contact to a corresponding copper or brass tab on the coil, and I cleaned both those contact surfaces. I'm going to do the same to the other engine. So onward and upward. All right, I pulled the valve cover off, so you can see magneto plug wire goes around, comes in here to the spark plug in the cylinder head there. But there's an interesting, everything's low tech. I love low tech. Yeah, there's an interesting little setup here. This tube here provides a drip oiling system to the rocker assembly for the valves, and this is a piece of felt, and that absorbs oil, and then it drips down. There's a couple of tubes underneath this felt tray you cannot see. Well, maybe. Yeah, kind of. You might be able to see those tubes. Anyway, oil goes from the felt down those tubes to the rocker arm and keeps the valve train lubed, and then of course that goes back into the oil sump for the engine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that spark plug out and see what kind of spark we got. I've already had this one off. The felt was missing. Fortunately, my beloved wife, in her fabric hoard, had a chunk of felt 3/8 of an inch thick, which I cut to size for the tray in here and soaked it with oil and to make sure this valve train over here gets oil. All right, so I'm gonna get some wrenches here, pull that spark plug out. While I got it out, I might as well, since I've cleaned the points, I might as well check and see if I got spark. I love this old school International Harvester engineering. A 15/16 socket fits exactly between the push rods for the valves. I mean, exactly. There ain't no clearance at all between the two. It just fits like a glove. Oh man, that plug is really in there. So I'm gonna need both hands, so I'll bring you back in a second. All right, well that plug looks pretty doggone good. I'm gonna throw it on the wire wheel there. I guess I wasn't surprised. This it's a propane burner. It's not running on gasoline. It's running on LP. So this looks really good. In fact, that electrode looks brand spanking new. So I'll wire wheel this and hook it back up and see if we got spark. Sorry for the shadows. Let's see if we got spark. Oh yeah. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's a nice hot blue spark. All right, I'm happy with that. I'm gonna blow out the hopper with compressed air. This guy's ready to run. I gotta put water in the hopper too. So I am gonna do a rinse and repeat on this engine, and then we're gonna see if we can fire this this whole Rube Goldberg contraption up. Stuff like this gets left outside in the desert. Critters tend to move in. Well, I'm gonna blast these hoppers out and then flush them. Idea. I'm going to spend a little bit sitting here in the chair going over the operator's manual for these little LB engines, just to make sure I got all the I's dotted and T's crossed and all that good stuff. So yeah, we're getting close now. These little engines are hopper cooled. Perfect. Well, I'm going to have to do this one-handed. Tripod failure. So I'm going to push this button, get a little fuel flow in here. Sorry about the wind noise. Well, I'm going to have to use two hands. I'll bring you back when it's running. I don't know if you can hear anything or not. You know, it's so doggone windy, and both these engines are running, making all kinds of racket. So this one wouldn't start because our desert frozen. That's the air intake for dog food. This intake over here was full of trash that was soaked with water. So that, of course, wouldn't fire either. So I got that cleaned up. Both engines are running good. I could make some hard-boiled eggs in the hopper right now if I wanted to because they're super hot. So what we're going to do first is we're going to engage the pump jack with our absolutely redneck engineered ingenious clutch system. If they work the ratchet, it will tighten the belt. Don't have rubber duckies yet, but Eldorado Days in Tombstone is this coming Saturday. So what's today? Monday, the 11th, Columbus Day, 2021. So the 15th, 16th, and 17th next weekend is Eldorado Days. All right, so engines are running. The pump jack is pumping. Now let me activate the other clutch and see what else we can get spinning here. Here we go. We got the drill press going. Don't have the hacksaw going yet. Let me climb up there and see if I can't get that working. Hang on. That was too simple. I just had to run that lever up and the hacksaw run. So again, apologize for the wind noise. But there you have it. The pump jack trailer. The only thing I have left to get going now is that air compressor. And get a tank on there, make up some whistles. And it looks like I got to tighten up the lever on that hacksaw. It wants to keep quitting. couple other things left to do. My tail lights aren't quite working correctly. I've got to get the permanent license plate on there. Some odds and ends type of stuff. But there you go, my friends. My latest and greatest Mastercraft Whisperer acquisition. Yes, I'm a child. Thanks for watching, everybody.